back to NH Unscripted. We are grazing in the grass, baby, on this love train. We are in search of Brother Love's Traveling Salvation Show. I am your happy to be out of bed host, Ray Dudley. We are coming to you from the opulent digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM, and 101.9 FM in Manchester. We have a URL that we can toss out there as well because we're kind of proud of it. NHTalkRadio.com. That's where you find this show live. There's a live button, and you can find all the archives. We'll talk a little bit more about that URL later. I need to take a moment and thank this show's sponsors. Sponsor. It is Lakes Region Fence in Guilford. LRFence.com is their URL. LRFence.com. Come on. Look, it's almost New Year's, right? Take a look out your back window. You see that dilapidated piece of junk you're calling a fence out there? Get rid of it. Come on, junk that thing. Time to pony up, baby. Go out to lrfence.com. There's a link out there where you can get a free estimate. Who doesn't mind? Who doesn't like free? I love free. We live for free here. You can get a free estimate. Matt and his gang, they'll call you back. They always do. That's what they live for. They do all kinds of fences. Pool fences, horse corrals, property lines. Dude, go out there. Take a look around. They've got photos of every job they've done, and there are works of art. I'm telling you. LRFence.com. Happy New Year, Matt and all your crew. Thank you for sponsoring this show. Woo, I've been waiting for this one for a long time. In studio with me is Joe Pelonzi. Joe, good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me on.
Oh, dude, this is going to be a rocker. Joe is the doo-wop DJ to the gods. You are truly a doo-wop DJ. Is that true?
That's right, I am. Most every Saturday night, 6 o'clock, Uncle Henry's Basement on WMWM, if I can say that.
Tell me that's a program station. And not an actual place you go.
Yeah, it's actually, we don't go into Salem State anymore. We have a remote station that we use.
What? Where's that?
It's still in Salem, but yeah, we're not supposed to be in the buildings on campus anymore since COVID.
So it's a college station.
It's basically a college radio station, yeah.
Yeah. How long have you been out there?
Oh, God, I've been doing it for about 8-9 years.
What?
And I was helping out there a couple years before that. But it's been around since 80s.
Yeah.
Back when it was just over the air, no internet. Now most of our audience is listening to us over the internet.
So what's the call letters?
WMWM 91.7.
Okay.
And you can get us. It used to be able to get us at WMWMonline.com, but that site seems to keep open up and down.
Yeah, I looked for it the other day.
Yeah, the shows that I work with on Saturdays are on North of Boston Radio, which is an internet thing. And one of our, actually the guy that's running the station that we use has set that up. So if you want to find... we have old shows out there, so if you want to listen to old shows...
You mean like the Lone Ranger?
No, I'm talking about our old radio shows. But all day long Saturday
up until out of the house.
Yeah, up till at least 11 o'clock at night. We've got live shows going on, and you can find it on North of Boston Radio, and that's exactly that. HTTPS North of Boston Radio, all one word, .com.
So. Are they all? So I said you would doo-wop DJ to the gods, but you do more than doo-wop.
Yeah, I started off doing the doo-wop show there, the Uncle Henry's Basement.
Yeah.
But I've and I would fill in for the 9 o'clock guy once in a while with psychedelic music. Because I got a large trove of psychedelic music.
I got a lot of psychedelics myself.
Yeah. But I've actually branched out a little bit more since then with Uncle Henry's Basement. Because doo-wop starts to sound the same sometimes.
Yeah.
So I also have an Uncle Henry's Folk Show that I do. So instead of the doo-wop, sometimes I do folk. And on occasion, filling in, I've done an Uncle Henry's Acoustic Show, which is just all acoustic music as well.
That's very interesting. All right. Can you give me a couple of definitions so people get a feel for what would you categorize as doo-wop? Where's that reside?
The hard and true is it's a group
Okay.
And it's supposed to be a cappella, although that doesn't happen too often. And it's the harmonies, really. And it's a style of music that came out of R&B. So you went from R&B to doo-wop to rock.
Oh, that's interesting. So when you say that is it mainly a cappella? Like, are we thinking like, good grief, the Four Seasons, and
well, the classic people wouldn't consider the Four Seasons doo-wop.
Got you.
But loosely, yeah, they would be in it. Yeah. But theirs was more pop music, okay, and that's what most people consider the Four Seasons to be, pop music.
Can you name a group that you would consider to be classic doo-wop off the top of your head?
Anything that Frankie Lyman was in, the Platters. I mean, there's a lot of groups. Well, hey, you want to read groups?
Yeah, go.
I got a whole bunch here right off my Uncle Henry's Basement Christmas show. So we got Kenny Vance and the Planetones, the Manhattans, the Heartbeats, Rocky Shop and the Replays, the Cinematics, Hank Thompson and his Brazo Valley Boys, the Youngsters, Earl Grant, the Marcells, the Ebonairs, Marvin and the Chirps. I mean,
Marvin and the Chirps.
And the funny thing is, you'll get groups that had 4 different names.
Yeah.
Because they might have worked.
I wonder why.
Well, they might have worked with 4 different record companies.
Okay.
So they had to keep changing their name. So it gets confusing at times when you play somebody and you go, oh, well, that's the Ebonairs. Well, no, that was the Ebonairs 2 years earlier. But now
on the RCA album or whatever. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Did I see Paul Revere and the Raiders on that?
Yeah, you did.
Well, how do they fall under?
Well, this isn't. This is.
Oh, okay. This is just your Christmas.
This is my second show. I'm doing 2 Christmas shows.
Of course you are.
The first one from 6 to 8 is doo-wop and folk Christmas music.
Got you.
And then from 8 to 10, I'm doing rock, garage rock, and psychedelic Christmas music.
Man, oh man.
And a lot of people don't know that Paul Revere and the Raiders went through a psychedelic phase.
Huh. I think I did.
Yeah. And I've got, Rain, Sleet, or Snow, which is the name of this particular song for Paul Revere and the Raiders. And it was during their psychedelic...
Is that a Christmas?
It's a Christmas song, yeah.
I don't think I've ever even heard it.
Well, actually, a lot of the psychedelic ones you may not have heard of.
Huh. Well,
some of them, yes, but others not.
I saw them in a concert in Boston once.
Yeah,
down at Faneuil Hall. They were performing. They had an incredible group to listen to.
Yeah,
their songs are just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't know about their psychedelic ones, but
well, let me give you some of the psychedelic ones off of here.
Please do.
Wizard with "I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day."
Okay,
that's a really interesting song. The Byzantine Empire with "Snow Queen." The Turtles. They went through a psychedelic phase also.
They did?
Yeah. Santa and the Sidewalk Surfer.
The Turtles went through a psychedelic one?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Like I said, Paul Revere and the Raiders. Eastfield Meadows with Silent Night.
Oh, my God.
Crusaders, well, that's not really psychedelic. That's more of a just instrumental. Ghosts with Please Stay for Christmas Eve. I'm sure you've never heard of that.
That one doesn't trip off my tongue, no.
No. Santa's Swinging Stocking Stuffers with Psychedelic Christmas.
Oh, one-hit wonder. You're killing me. You're killing me.
The Psychic Ills with Run, Rudolph, Run.
Dude, how hard did you have to dig to find these?
Not very hard.
Really?
No, I had a lot of it already.
Really? We just go to the psychedelic department of the album store.
I mean, I have a lot of the stuff in my collection.
That sounds dangerous.
But you can also, you go on YouTube and you type in,
I do not want
psychedelic
to. I don't want that
music.
in my history. I do not want my wife seeing that in my browser history, Joe. Thanks a lot.
But I also, I do a lot of the 9 o'clock shows now. We lost a lot of DJs since the pandemic. Not that they passed away; they just didn't come back.
Really?
Yeah. So
you could do it all remote. Why would they even?
We tried doing it remote, and it wasn't working. The software that they had was I don't even want to put it on my good PCs because it'll screw up my PCs.
Really?
It's really old, antiquated software, and so we may make another attempt to do remote because it would make it easier.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But I also do a 9 o'clock show. I do the Hardest Saturday Night, which was started by another DJ, and I've kind of picked it up, which is kind of an eclectic view of rock music of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. So I can play pretty much anything I want.
Oh, my God.
I do a show called Boston Beat, which is all shows, or I should say all performers or groups from the Boston area or New England, primarily the Boston area.
Hang on to that. You hear that music?
Yep, I heard the music. I think I got to stop talking.
Time for Sanka and Moxie, baby. You have been listening to NH Unscripted. I am your Happy New Year host, Ray Dudley. Glad to be out of bed. We are coming to you from 1450 AM, 103.9 FM in Concord, 101.9 FM for all the happy souls in Manchester. And you can find us at nhtalkradio.com. I'll get into that a little bit more in a minute. Joe Pelonzi's with me. DJ to the gods. We're coming back. All it can stands because it can't stands no more. It's NH Unscripted, you lucky listener. Yeah, I am your Popeye-like host, Ray Dudley. We are coming to you from the mountaintop bunkers of the WKXL studios in Concord, 1450 AM, 103.9 FM. And for you folks in Manchester, 101.9, come on, you know this. We do this all the time. NHTalkRadio.com is the URL where you can listen to us live and find archives of this wonderful show and all of the other great programs here. In studio with me today, I'm so glad. It speaks to my soul. Joe Pelonzi. He's a DJ, and he covers it all. Joe, tell me something. So, who's your target audience for? Can you even tell who your audience is for a lot of these shows? Well,
we're over the air, 91.7, but it's only like 150 watt radio station. Okay. So you get 10 miles away, and we get overridden by other stations. Right. So a majority of our listeners are on the internet, and we have quite a few, actually. Yeah. The demographics are different for the doo-wop show, and one of the guys does an R&B, Saturday night rent party show. Yeah. And the demographic is different there. That tends to be more
older, younger,
people, a little bit more older
for the R&B,
for the R&B, and for the doo-wop, because the doo-wop kind of came out of R&B. Some are. There's a blurry line there. There's some that are both R&B and doo-wop. So some songs.
They overlap?
In style and everything else. Okay. So, on the internet, you can reach anybody in the world.
Pretty much.
And we do. For my doo-wop show, I get comments, primarily from the United States, but I get a lot from out of Canada.
What?
I get some out of Europe.
Yeah?
Yeah. I advertise my show on Facebook. All right. Yep. Best place to do it for me. And so people see it and they'll listen in. I have a lot of theater friends, as you and I have. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, a lot of the theater friends listen in because they like the music.
Yeah.
And also people that I work with like the music. So I've kind of spread it amongst my Northrop Grumman brethren too, and I have quite a few people from Northrop Grumman that will listen in if they can.
He's not supposed to say that because he has top secret clearance. But
no, that's supposed to say that part of it.
Oops! Now they have to kill me. When you say that, so how they find it? First of all, when you say it's out on the internet,
there are groups on Facebook. Yep. Dedicated to doo-wop, dedicated to psychedelic music, dedicated to all different kinds of rock music. And I will, I'm a member of a lot of those groups, and I'll say, hey, if you guys want to listen to a live doo-wop show, because it's hard to find a live doo-wop show. You don't find it on the radio anywhere anymore.
I know, it's all country western and whatever.
In fact, one of the last rock stations here in New Hampshire just went to country.
Did they?
Yeah, 96.5 The Mill.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're country now.
Really?
Yeah. That disappointed me because I used to listen to them once in a while. I mean, mostly I listen to satellite, but I do listen to them once in a while. Now it's like, oh my God, country, another country
Didn't
station.
take long, baby, eating them up like Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Chomping at them.
But, so I would mention in some of those groups, and then people would start listening.
So if someone wanted to listen to your show, you say you're on Facebook, but how would they actually find you? What would they look up? Like doo-wop and then your name pops up on Facebook?
If we're friends, that's easy because when I post it, they'll see it.
Yeah.
I also post it usually in like Bedford Off-Broadway. I'll post it into some other groups, maybe a cast and crew page of a show that I'm currently working. And I will post it in these groups too.
Okay.
I will, share it into these groups so that, which got, may have thousands of doo-wop listeners. And if they want to listen to it, they can. At least they know about it then.
Yeah. And so I'm assuming you have a link that puts it live that they can get the live stream.
We've been using North of Boston Radio right now because that's the most reliable one.
Okay. What is the most popular one that you do? The most popular genre that?
Oh, psychedelic.
Get out.
Oh,
Are you serious?
Psychedelic. Yep.
What?
Yep.
How is that possible?
Because that has people from all ages.
I don't know if that's encouraging or not. I don't know what to do with that.
It's the kind of music.
Describe first of all that genre. What would we find in that? Why? What kind of groups? The Who? Are we talking like?
No, they're not psychedelic.
Oh, okay.
No.
Don't tell me Paul Revere and the Raiders. I'm going to die.
Well, they went through a psychedelic phase, but
they're from the '60s and early '70s maybe.
A good one. It was a Boston band, part of the Bosstown Sound. Oh my God! Now it just slipped out of my head.
Do I got to get the paddles?
Yeah, maybe.
Stand back.
I can't believe it. I was just about to say it, and it just completely slipped out of my mind.
When people look at me, Joe, that happens a lot. So what class?
Ultimate Spinach.
Okay.
Ultimate Spinach was.
Gee, I don't know why I don't know why that didn't come right to mind.
But they were very popular back in the late 60s, early 70s. They were also one of these groups that every time they put out an album, the lineup would be a little bit different of who was in it. But it was psychedelic
Probably Survivors,
music.
Joe.
Yeah. A lot of psychedelic music came out of the Boston area, and a lot of it came out of San Francisco.
I get San Francisco.
California.
I would not have guessed Boston.
Yeah, Boston was very popular for psychedelic music.
Wow. That's very interesting. I was in college back in the 70s, and we might have been doing certain
chemicals
things, and I was listening to Journey to the Center of the Earth one time.
But which one?
Oh, I didn't know there were multiple versions.
Oh, yeah.
What, are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I was seeing pterodactyls. I'm like, oh. I was like lost. So to be in that group of psychedelic music, the group itself had to go through that phase, or the music represents something about that?
It was the style of music. I mean, anybody could do psychedelic music, and a lot of people did. I mean, there were people that you wouldn't, like Paul Revere and the Raiders and the Turtles. You didn't realize they did some psychedelic music.
No, I know. Would never have guessed. I mean, if you held a gun to my head, I would never have guessed that.
But it was the in thing back then. WBCN, you know WBCN,
I know,
okay?
Well, right? Yeah.
They were really the ones that introduced the masses in this area to psychedelic music.
No kidding.
Because there were all these groups doing it, but like WMEX and all these other stations.
Oh my God!
They wouldn't play it.
It's a time machine.
Yeah, they wouldn't play it.
Wow.
So BCN said, "Hey, hell that! We're going to stop playing it." Now they first started playing it like after midnight.
Yeah, I wonder why. Yeah,
but then it slowly crept into prime time.
Wow.
They were really the pioneers of psychedelic music on the radio waves in the Boston area.
Was there something about the music itself that categorized it? Like, was there, like, I know Paul Revere and the Raiders big on their organ, but was there some, like, an instrument that made it?
Organs, synthesizers,
Yeah.
It's hard to describe. It's easier to listen to it. But it was the kind of music you could just veg out to.
No, really? Yes.
You put it on. You put on headphones. You just close your eyes, and
3 days later, I wake up
and you start seeing pink elephants, and
So there's that. You do doo-wop, and then there were two more?
Yeah, Heart of Saturday Night, which is eclectic. It's rock.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second. That covers the 60s to the 80s?
To the 90s.
90s.
Yep.
More
60s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah?
Not too much from the 90s.
Do you favor one decade over another yourself?
Well, for me, 60s and 70s are my sweet spot.
Yeah?
You know, because then disco came in and ruined everything. And then 80s was the hair bands, you know,
Yeah.
and Kiss and that kind of stuff. And I never really got into that. But I'll play it. I'll play it because people want to hear it.
Yeah.
I'll play anything that people want to hear.
Do you take requests?
Oh, yeah, usually.
What's your most popular, request that people call in for?
You know, it's all over the place.
Oh, dog, come on.
It's
just me and you here.
I really can't think of a particular song that, I mean, you know, if I get 10 requests over 2 weeks, it's 10 different songs.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
You know, and I get requests for doo-wop, too. You're like, hey, will you play this song? Because it's the one my first date with my wife.
Really?
And we heard this on the radio.
I would never have doo-wop.
Yeah.
I cannot fathom that. That's fascinating.
Yeah, well, the people that were, you know, getting together in the 50s.
What are they, like 90 now? I mean, what the heck?
They're probably in their 80s at least anyway.
Holy crapanola. Wow, that's amazing. And how... I'm trying to think about numbers here. Do you get the numbers for how many people are listening at any one time? What are you peaking at?
We don't really have access to that.
Man,
I mean, the station's not that sophisticated.
Yeah. How much research do you have to do for each? Because that's a lot of genres. All right, I mean, come on,
We got another break coming up, right?
Yes, we do, Joe. Yes.
I'll talk about that when we come back.
It's time for Lindt chocolates and oh my God, I can't even think of the candy I have up there. Never mind. I probably ate them all anyway. You are listening to NH Unscripted. I am your ever-gaining weight host, Ray Dudley. We are coming to you from the incredibly decorated holiday spirit of WKXL Studios in Concord, 1450 AM, 103.9 FM, 101.9 FM in Manchester, and our URL is nhtalkradio.com. We're coming back because Joe and I got to do some digging. My Moxie filled with milk. That's a little internal joke here. You are listening to NH Unscripted. I am your Moxie filled host, Ray Dudley. We are coming to you from the Taj Mahal-like digs of the WKXL bunkers in Concord. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM, 101.9 FM in Manchester. Our URL where this show and all of the other tremendous programming that happens here can be found is nhtalkradio.com. In studio with me, Joe Pelonzi, and we are having one heck of a time, let me tell you. Joe, I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, I am too. Thank you for having me.
He is not just doo-wop DJ. He is also connected to Bedford Off-Broadway, correct?
And Majestic, too. I do work with them as well.
I saw something about the Majestic recently that popped up on my wife's. Well, never mind. I skulk using my wife's Facebook. I don't have my own Facebook account. Tell me what's new. What's happening over there in Bedford Off-Broadway?
Well, I'm still the artistic director at Bedford Off-Broadway.
All right, which means?
I'm the first filter for what shows we're going to do.
Got you.
Okay.
People present their offerings to you.
In fact, we're going to be putting out a director's call in January.
Yeah.
For 2025.
What?
We try to
a year ahead?
We try to stay 2 years ahead. So we have our 2024 season already set.
Oh my gosh.
And so we're going to be looking for 2025.
Wow. So what is it? Is it like a pitch night? What do they do? They just email you? I mean,
yeah. Basically, if they have a show. We prefer getting a director who's got a show they're passionate about.
Yeah.
Because if they're passionate about it, they're going to put more effort into it.
Yeah.
But if they just want to direct with us, then we can suggest shows as well.
Yeah.
But we prefer they come in with a show.
Yeah.
And they or 2 shows, whatever, however many they want to pitch, and then we'll have them come in and meet the board. And we'll give them an opportunity to talk about their project, what they want to do, how they think it's going to go. We'll ask them questions. And then as a board, we decide what our season's going to be. Now, we're a family-friendly theater.
Like this radio station.
Yeah. So, we can't go too askew.
Risque.
Yeah. And we do. They like comedies. Let's face it. They like comedies.
Yeah.
But we'll. If we want to do something more dramatic or something, we'll just put a comedy on each side of it, type of thing. But so it's not like we won't do just do comedies. We'll do other shows as well.
So where do you perform? Where's it all?
We use the Old Bedford Town Hall, the upstairs, which is a huge hall, and it's got a proscenium stage.
Sound-wise, how was that?
Very good. It was a speaker's hall.
Oh.
If you're facing the audience. If you face the back of the stage, nobody's going to hear you.
Really?
It gets absorbed.
Put it like that. Oh, yeah,
so
me.
It's very important. When we're directing there, we make sure people, you got to cheat out a little bit when you're talking.
So nobody's mic'd, I assume.
No, we don't mic. We actually, the last show that we just did.
Which was?
Curious Savage.
Okay.
And it was very well received. But Maria Barry, you must know Maria Barry. Okay, Maria Barry.
I haven't seen her in ages either. Man.
She came down with a throat problem. I don't know if it was something. And so we on the fly, literally 2 hours before the shows, we went out and bought a mic. And we mic'd her because they would not have been able to hear her.
Yeah, that's too bad.
But we don't mic, no.
Wow. So you said something about your demographic there kind of really leans into the comedies.
Yeah, the patrons are families, and they need a reason to laugh, basically.
Well said.
And so they prefer the comedies, but it's not that they won't come see the other shows. Mm-hmm. But they want to see comedies. So we try to accommodate that. And we do more comedies than not.
Yeah. What's your most popular show, Ben? Can you recall?
Curious Savage did very well.
Yeah. Is that a comedy? I know nothing about it.
Yes, it is a comedy. But, it's maybe sneaking into dramedy a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Okay. It's a very interesting show. I saw it done down at Nashville Theater Guild, did it quite a few years ago at Court Street. And Maria Barry played the main character there and also with us. I liked our version better at Bedford. And actually, Maria thought she liked it better, too. So,
yeah? Why? What was different?
It's just the way it was set up, the way it was staged, and everything else. And the ending was much more poignant, I think, the way we did in Bedford than the way they did with NTG. And I'm not saying NTG's wasn't a good show. It was a very good show.
Yeah.
But I think we had a brand new director, and she had some thoughts that hadn't been tried before with that show, I think.
Is it difficult to build a set on a town hall stage?
No, not really. We own the stage as far as
you do.
Yeah, the town runs it, but we run the stage. So if anybody wants to use the stage, they have to come to us and ask permission.
Oh,
and the nice thing, which is for amateur theater is just almost unheard of, is we have our setup 3 or 4 weeks before the shows.
That's really nice.
Yeah, so
it's really
not
nice.
It's not like you're putting up your set 2 days before you start.
Oh, thank God! I love you, man. That is.
And we have a carpenter. He that's his real job. He's an extremely good carpenter. He builds our sets. And he tends to like to kind of do it alone. He'll let me come in and help him once in a while, but he tends to like to do them alone. He doesn't want anybody there bothering him.
Yeah, he's burying the bodies.
Yeah. So he puts up the sets, and they're very solid sets.
It just seems like it'd be that you'd have to take really big care because it's a town hall.
It's not a town hall anymore. It's the old town hall.
Okay.
They have a brand new town hall.
Okay.
This building is unique in that it's the largest open space in the state of New Hampshire without columns and stuff. It's a truss ceiling. Largest truss ceiling space in New Hampshire.
Dang. I know I've been in there. I saw a show years ago. I can't tell you what it was. I don't. Where is it exactly?
It's right across from the Bedford Library. Boy, I don't come from Bedford, so it's hard for me to.
All right.
And I should know better because I've been there for quite a few years.
What's on your schedule this year? What are you guys doing?
Well, we just cast a show and had to read through, and we're going to be starting rehearsals January 3rd.
And that
Blame It on Beckett.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that.
It's I don't think it's been done in New Hampshire before.
Okay.
It's
comedy?
Yes, but it's an adult comedy.
Okay.
So it's not for kids, and we're going to make sure that we let people know that. It's got adult themes and adult humor and adult language.
All right.
Now, we can't go too far with adult language in Bedford, but we've had to make a few alterations.
A little prudish out there, are we, in Bedford? What's going on over there?
But it's I have a really good cast, I think. This is one of those shows where I couldn't just say I'm going to pick the best actors. I needed the chemistry.
Wait, are you directing it?
Yes, I'm directing it.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. This is a show I've been passionate about doing.
Oh, tell me about it. I know nothing about it.
It's about theater.
Oh, okay.
It's about a dramaturge.
That's a real word. That's not a slur.
Yeah. And he ends up getting an assistant reluctly who wants to help him, but then ends up kind of backstabbing him a little bit. But and then there's also and you'll know this, an overbearing older actress who thinks that she's paid her dues and now she just gets,
Yes.
Yeah.
We call them divas.
Yes. I was trying not to say that word, but yes, a diva. And then there's the general manager of the theater, who wants to move on to Broadway, and he wants and he doesn't care who's back. He walks over to do it. So it's quite interesting. Yeah, I don't need those. There's comedy in it. There's drama in it. I think it's a good show.
How big is the cast?
4 people.
That's all?
Yep.
That's all. Oh, that's interesting too.
Yep. And yeah, I think it's a show worth. I don't say this often, but I think it's a show I will tell people. I think you should come see it.
Yeah, yeah.
And on top of that, we're not doing it on the stage. We're doing it on the floor.
Okay, so fill me in on how that works.
So we're going to have a U of people around the floor.
Almost what? Like
so almost
theater in the round?
Yeah,
or?
3/4 theater in the round.
Wow. So why? What?
And actually, the show's written to be done that way too.
It is.
It is. Yeah. And
how does that help? How does that help accentuate what's taking place there?
Because you're going to get, if you get it up on the stage, you only have one flat view.
Yes.
Of everything.
Yes.
This way, you got a 3D view of what's going on.
Man.
And it does make a difference with the show.
So how do you build your set then?
There isn't much of a set. The set's going to consist of 2 doors.
Yeah. What?
That's it.
2 doors?
2 doors.
Put a pin in it. You hear that music? It's time for ribbon candy is what I was told. Yes. Hang on. It's NH Unscripted, but you knew that. You've been waiting for it anyway, you lucky listeners. I am your ribbon candy eating host, Ray Dudley. I do once in a while choke on them. They get a little sharp, We are coming to you from the mountaintop studios of the WKXL studios overlooking the wonderful city of Concord. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM, 101.9 FM for the folks, the peeps all down in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Joe and I will be right back. Wonderful. Life is a rock, baby, but the radio rolled me. You are listening to NH Unscripted. I didn't have to tell you that. I know it's like ingrained in you by now. And I am your rocking host, Ray Dudley. We are coming to you deep Deep from the bunkers of the WKXL studios, buried within the mountains of Concord, 1450 AM, 103.9. That's FM. Those are the signals we can sneak out from the confines here. 101.9 FM in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Joe Pelonzi is regaling me about Bedford off Broadway. But we did want to kind of segue a bit. Yes,
actually, if I could, I just want to give out the show dates for the show.
Please do.
So if anybody's interested, and you can find it on Facebook, just look up Bedford Off Broadway. But the show dates are March 8th, 9th, 10th, 15th, 16th, and 17th. We do Friday and Saturday nights and 2 Sunday matinees.
Fridays, Saturday nights, and 2 matinees. Oh, I hate matinees. For anybody who's listening.
But we got a whole bunch of blue hairs that love it.
Yeah, they do, actually. They really do. And I appreciate going to them. I just never had enough turnaround time as an actor to recover decently. Are you know about the Hat Box?
Oh, yeah. Sad.
Yeah.
I'm still hoping they're going to find another place, but it's not looking too good right now.
I know. Andrew was in here. Telling us about they're not having a whole lot of luck. They have a couple of teams maybe of people who are trying to hunt out venues, but it impacts a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot, and a lot of good theater.
Yes. I've seen some crazy nice shows and great shows there. So you've got actors, you've got writers, you've got set designers, you've got all these people, lighting people, sound people, who are all impacted. Not to mention the audiences and themselves, but that's a huge hole.
And the theater companies that did the shows here, some of them don't have home theaters.
They do,
so they counted on being able to go to the Hat Box to show their wares.
Correct. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what these people are going to do to find a home. They can't go out of. I hope they don't go out of business because they can't find a home.
Yeah.
But that was a cheap venue for the most part.
Yeah.
That was one of the great selling points.
I mean, it was a wonderful black box theater.
Yes. I love black box.
And they got so creative with sets and stuff. You had to. Yeah. Because you got a small space.
Right.
But the talent that they got in there and the shows were outstanding.
I know. I don't know what they're going to do. You guys obviously aren't impacted by it, but...
No, it's not like we would pitch to go to the Hat Box. I know Ghostlight we did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Ghostlight's gone way the dodo as well.
Oh, man.
That was more of a problem of there was nobody left to keep the group going. There was 2 or 3 of us that were still on the board.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get anybody else to help. And it's just like, okay,
See, that's the problem. They're all going to face this.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say all of them. I mean, it's kind of
we would have to make it a full-time job, and none of us could afford to do that.
Yeah.
We haven't officially buried it, but we've been dark now for 2 years, over 2 years.
Man. So did Ghostlight use the Hat Box?
We tried to.
You pitched?
We pitched one year, but the person pitching it didn't do a very good job, and we didn't get selected.
I can't believe
So we learned our lesson from that, but then we never got another chance to pitch because
he lays it right out. Excuse me.
Well, I shouldn't say they didn't do a good job. They didn't do
Too late.
They didn't do a good enough job.
Too late. It's out in the ether, buddy. It's out there.
I know.
My God.
I'll be paying for that, I'm sure.
Did you say earlier that there are a number of groups going under?
There were quite a few groups that went under during the pandemic. A lot of them up north.
Yeah.
And a lot of groups got hurt bad by it, and they're not going to come back. Once they go out, they're not going to come back.
Right.
Yeah. Groups like Bedford, we were fortunate in that we don't pay rent on the theater space. We get it for nothing.
Dude, that's huge.
We've put a ton of money into the building. We put in, help put in the fire sprinklers. All the lighting and all the sound in there is via us. So we're putting money into it, but we're not paying per show. So if we go dark during the pandemic, we have no money going out, which a lot of groups couldn't say.
Yeah.
They were still paying for whatever, and they weren't able to get any income. Well, for us, it just meant, okay, we have no income, but we also have no expenses.
Yeah. Excuse me. I was wondering about a group like M&D. Is it M&D up in North Conway?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know how they made it, how they survived, right?
Yeah.
First of all, they're out there in Nowheresville.
Yep.
You got to be going there to get there.
Yep.
And the pandemic hits, I'm sure they couldn't perform. But they didn't close down. I don't know how they survived. I have no idea how they survived.
I think they probably they had done so well for years and years and years. They probably had enough of a nest egg to survive.
Loyal fan base, baby. One loyal.
And they, the shows that I've seen there were always very good.
Always. I saw Death of a Salesman there and some other show, a couple of them. Dude, they do high-quality stuff up there. Yep. It is really impressive.
So, you're probably more in line with the Winnipesaukee Players.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So how did they? I know they survived and they're still there.
They did.
But did they have a trick to get through, or did
backers? They had corporate backers.
Okay.
That helped a lot. But I'll tell you, you don't hear about them a lot of times, right? You might see there in the program there's something in there. That's huge money.
Yep.
If you've got backers like that. Yeah. You are blessed.
They got a campus to die for.
Yeah, I know.
And that theater is just wonderful.
I know. It's a beautiful place to perform.
And that's where you did Of Mice and Men, right?
I did. Yeah,
that was one of like I said, that was one of the shows I went to see just because you were in it.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
And that was a great show.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it. I didn't know much about it. And I played Candy, the one-arm.
Yeah. And didn't you get an NHTA award for that?
I did, dude. All right, hang on. Let me get my wallet out here. That's like 3 in a row. Thank you. I did. Excuse me. I don't know what I've got. Some kind of little coffee. Yeah, but it's funny. It's like a composite of Black Box, but it's not Black Box. I mean, it's intimate.
Yep.
There's just enough seating there so that you can see the audience all the way up to the last row. You could watch them breathe. You can hear them when they gasp.
Yeah.
But it's not Black Box. It's got this too, the sides up there that are doing it. It's a very interesting place to play. I love to play there. I mean, it's really great.
I love seeing shows there. I went up to, I'll tell a little story about there. I went up to see a show there, Mrs. Robinson. Is that the name of it?
The Graduate?
The Graduate. I'm sorry. Yeah, The Graduate. Because it's a show that I at some point I want to direct.
Yep.
And I wanted to see what they were going to do with Mrs. Robinson because there's a famous scene with Mrs. Robinson.
Yes, sir. I'm going to watch Andrew to make sure we don't cross the line on this one. But it's
something that's not allowed in New Hampshire.
Yes. I was in that show.
Were you?
I played his dad.
God, I'm sorry, I don't remember that.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I went because I wanted to see how they were going to handle the Mrs. Robinson scene because it's like, all right, in New Hampshire, you can't do what the script calls for.
But they did.
They did.
Yeah.
And I was right in the front row.
Yeah.
and I was literally 3 feet from her, and my wife kept elbowing me, telling me to shut my mouth. That must have been drooling. But
yeah.
I was like, wow. I was like, how'd they get away with it? I don't know.
I'm with you, and I was in it, and I'm like, first of all, when they rehearsed it, it was closed door,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and they had to be very careful. That's one brave woman.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that.
She was outstanding, too.
Yes.
That was an outstanding show.
Yeah.
It was the best performance I had seen of The Graduate.
It was tremendous. Oh, my God, it was tremendous. Yeah, that was, but I think a lot of people were. I don't know how many people did not know that was coming up.
I was shocked because it's like I want to see they're going to do something, I don't know. But I want to see how creative they got because they're pretty creative.
Yes.
I said, how are they going to do this, without getting in trouble? And then I was like,
I know. I saw it over at the Players Ring after that, and it was all done behind a scrim. They just hung up a sheet and, but, not the Winnie, man. They got gonads the size of bowling balls up there.
Yeah. I was just like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's not going to help me what I'm going to do it, though, probably.
Yeah, you're going to have to figure something out, man. I don't know how if you ever do it, my hat's off to you, but you're reaching for something at that point. It was a great show. They had a wonderful cast. My gosh, it was strong. And I think it won some awards as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm pretty sure it did. Yeah. And I apologize. I did not remember you in it, but
it's okay.
I was mesmerized by Mrs. Robinson.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you go on that one.
I know earlier you asked me about some of my favorite shows and stuff.
Yes.
And I'll share a little story if you want me to.
Fire away.
And this is way back in the midst of time.
Yep.
And I hadn't been out of hope. I guess we run out of time.
Can you get it in? Can you get it in?
Nah, it'll take too long.
Oh, we're going to have him back. Dang it. He's always running out of time here. Oh, gosh. Well, folks, I told you it could possibly be an award-winning episode. I wasn't lying. You were listening to NH Unscripted. Oh, man, I am your just crying host, Ray Dudley. We are coming to you from the never over-ostentatious digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM, 101.9 FM in Manchester. And you can find this show as well as all the other programs here at nhtalkradio.com. Now you can go out there. See you on the flip side.